I would request our Honorable Minister from Gujarat, Shri Saurabhbhai Patel, Honorable Minister for Energy of the Government of Gujarat, to give his address, please.
Honorable Minister for Power, Respected Shri R.K. Singh, Her Excellency Minister for France, Barbara Pompili, Shri Tulsi Bhai, Shri Samir Bhai, Shri Chandrajit Banerjee, and all the participants in this conference. First, my congratulations to CI to have this conference, which is very important. Self-reliance is very important for the future, and our dream of our Prime Minister of being Atmanirbhar. That is our final objective. Now, India is one of the fastest growing countries in the world. Today, fifth largest economy. And when you want to go up the ladder, it becomes more and more competitive. And when you have to face the competition, I think energy sector is one of the most important sectors if you want to go up. Not only the security, but availability at a reasonable cost. And this is only possible if the manufacturing is done in our country. See, if you look at today, most of the manufacturing in the world is done in China, and they practically control the whole market. The price which we buy becomes the final cost, and accordingly becomes the cost of power. Now, the home country always has a basic advantage. So it is very, very important that in the next 5 to 7 years, India has to grow on a drastic pace as far as manufacturing is concerned. And this vision of our Honorable Prime Minister was not today, but since years. And this is being implemented by our Honorable Minister, Shri R.K. Singh. I still remember years back, I'm talking of 10, 15 years back, there was nothing in the energy sector, there was nothing in the renewable sector. And Gujarat, under the leadership of our Honorable Chief Minister Shri Narendra Modi at the time, we came out for the first time and bought power at even rupees 15 per unit. Today, we are buying that power. We are fulfilling our commitment. And I remember having a discussion with the Prime Minister, and he's saying that Gujarat has to show the way to the nation and has to lead. Now, this was the vision at that time. So you can imagine the vision of 450 gigawatts by 2030. First time when it was announced, everyone thought that this is very wild dream. But today, when we go or when we are progressing, we are seeing that this can be a reality. And I'm sure that the participants of all the big players in this field will be able to fulfill all the realities in the manufacturing sector and fulfill the vision of our Prime Minister. Regarding manufacturing, I'll talk of it later, but I would like to say that what has Gujarat done? Today, in 2002, our capacity was only 99 megawatts, and that was only in wind. Some windmills by the private sector in captive, that is all we had. Today, in year 2021, we have a capacity of 13,300 megawatts. That is good enough, but still we are third placed in the country. We have come out with a number of policies. There are a number of tenders which already have started being implemented. So by next year end, we expect this capacity jump by 3,000 megawatts, and we are expecting 16,700 megawatts to come by 2022, in spite of this corona issues. By 2025, we expect practically double or more than double, 40,000 megawatts. Now, 40,000 megawatts is not a small thing to be implemented in the next 4 years, but this is being driven by proper planning in every sector, which are the sectors which we are identified. I'll speak on that subject also, and how we are planning this 40,000. But by 2030, will touch 66,000 megawatts. So I think by touching 66,000 or even by 225, when we're touching a 41,000, we'll be way ahead than any state in the country. And I don't think it will be easy for us, for other states, to catch up on this field. Now, when we're talking about how we are reaching it, see, Gujarat has always been a policy-driven state. We came out with a solar power policy in 2009. Again, after 5 years, we came out in 2015. Again, we came out in 2021, the last one, which is very, very liberal. And wind policy 2016, it's being expired because this corona, we are extending it. We will be shortly coming out with a new policy, which will be more dynamic and aggressive. So these are the policies of solar, policy for wind. Then we had waste to energy policy, solar wind hybrid policy. We came out first time in 2018. Not only that, we came out with a land allocation policy in 2019. Then we came out with a policy whereby which we'll be buying power nearer from the substations, which so we'll saving on a transmission cost of 75 paisa per unit. So we expect around 2,000 to 3,000 megawatts of new additional capacities coming up on our 66 kVA substations, which our quantum is huge. And we have already have an infrastructure where we don't have to put in additional infrastructure. Also, for captive, we have huge industrial base. So 100% capacity additions also we have been given. So anyone who wants to put up a capacity, we are doing it. And wind as well as solar as well as hybrid, all three are on our radars. A lot of parks, say for example, we are the first one to come up with the park, Charanka, 770 megawatts, it's full. Radhan is the 700 megawatts. Practically 400 megawatts is ready to commission and balance will be commissioned in next 1 year or so, 6 months. Already we are planning for 5,000 megawatts, 1,000 megawatts bids are already been given. Asher, 500 megawatts bids are coming up in next 15 days or 1 month. And the biggest one, with the support of the center, solar wind hybrid park in Kutch, where it is 30,000 megawatts. 30,000 megawatts, we have told all the players who have been given allocated land, that is NTPC, SECI, private companies, and state government companies, that you have to fully have the park operational by 2030, but that is within 10 years. Full infrastructure inside the park, I mean, is the responsibility of the developers, but outside the park of roads, bridges, water, and everything is the responsibility of the state government. And tenders have been given, and tenders have been already parties are working. So by next 6 months or 3 years, all infrastructure outside the park will be connected. We are happy that we are getting full support from the center as far as power grid, and our honorable minister is giving full support. So transmission network take the power outside this park is also being worked out at present. So this is the big things which I talked about in this. Not only this, but in fact, the SECI in wind also, a lot of SECI projects also coming in the state of Gujarat. And I think most of the bids which SECI has very successfully undertaken, out of that, most of the land has been allocated by the state government, the state of Gujarat, for which the work is also being done. So this is our existing renewable work which has been being done. But now what is more exciting and what is more important is the manufacturing part which is being done. With central government has also come up with an incentive scheme for putting up this manufacturing thing. Our state government has also come out with a manufacturing scheme for large projects. Today we have core sector which is well defined. The core sector includes our existing ones like chemicals, pharmaceuticals, automobiles, ceramics, diamonds. These are our strengths, engineering. So these are our core sectors which we always promote. This time, for the first time, we have come out with sunrise sectors. Sunrise sectors were included sectors which have a potential to grow. And in this, we have identified renewables as sunrise sectors. So for manufacturing of renewable plant machinery or equipment, this is a growing area which we have identified, and we will be giving incentives for any units which put up manufacturing in the state of Gujarat. But today, there are big players in the field coming up, so which has made more exciting. The latest entrants being Reliance, starting from scratch, say silica to hydrogen, green hydrogen. So this is what the country wants. If you really want to compete with the big countries, we have to do it from scratch till the final product. And I'm sure both the governments, the state of Gujarat and even the central government will positively help in this. Today, the entry of Adani is in a big way. Even Renew, I understand Tata is also thinking of it. Our old players like Vikram and our player in South Gujarat, Pari, they're all putting up manufacturing units. And we in Gujarat, I'm 100% sure that with these five players coming in, Gujarat is going to be the renewable solar capital, not only for manufacturing, but the complete cycle till green hydrogen is there. Now, why it is making more exciting is even in the state of Gujarat, we are working on right now with the center that the 30,000 megawatts which is generated, it will be very difficult for all these megawatts to be transmitted because such huge transmission networks require a lot of finances, a lot of ROW issues. So, full usage of this transmission network can only be used if storage can be done at the site. This power can be utilized. If this is successful, then our grid capacities, which have remained idle in certain period of time, can also be utilized. So the excitement today in the field is coming up of storage capacities in a big way. And the more the capacity which comes in, the cost will be coming down. And even after inclusive of this cost and the center giving protection in custom duties to a certain extent for this manufacturing units, I think in next 2 to 3 years, after the huge capacities coming in, the price of storage in batteries will also be reasonable for all the distribution companies to use it in a massive way. On the other side, coal, ports of coal, the transportation of coal to far off places, the price of oil, fuel charges is going to make it more and more expensive for thermal power. The price of gas is also very expensive, so there are a lot of idle capacity is also lying in. So I personally feel that this renewables has a very big future, and the entrance of big players will bring in new technology, the new investments by a lot of players, even foreign mutual funds will also enter, foreign big companies will also, technological companies will enter. And this, India being a ready market, today with the growth in the economy, so even if we have an average growth of 6, 7, 8%, and states like Gujarat, even today, our consumption of energy in the industry has surpassed the energy which was used before COVID came in. So we already have a growth even today where the COVID situation is likely there. So the expectations is the energy demand is going to increase drastically in the days to come. The new investments coming in, the manufacturing sector being a growth, the prices of commodity being high, the profits of the company are being good. So a lot of money is going to be pumped in the manufacturing sector in the years to come, which will eventually bring in more and more usage of energy. And that is why energy security is important. First off, if you want to compete in the world, even if you want to compete in textiles, which gives the most important employment, if you want to compete in any sector, cost of power has to be reasonable, it has to be more competitive, and I think India can have the edge over all the other world countries, and we will be positively able to beat China with new technologies and new investments coming in this sector. Once again, I thank CII, and I also take this opportunity of thanking our Honorable Minister for complete support in our hybrid park, and we are looking out for new ideas. We are working with NTPC also very closely in developing this park. In fact, NTPC, GSEC, that is our company, and GIPCL, that is also a company. We have signed an MOU and working on joint infrastructure development in the park to reduce the cost of infrastructure. So in the days to come, we are also working with, in fact, we are discussing with NTPC for this clean hydrogen generation and how to use it. So we will be more excited to work with all the private companies also for storing of energy. So all the ideas in the CII conference are most welcome. And Gujarat, I assure you, will lead the way amongst all the states in the country with the support of the center and fulfill the visions of our Honorable Prime Minister. Thank you.